Hey guys, what's up? This is Nayan from Tech Solutions, and today we are going to do a review on the iPad 2. Let's go about the design of the iPad 2. The iPad 2 is just 8.8 mm thick. It's got a charging slot at the bottom. On the top, it's got a power button that's power on and off. It's also got a 3.5 mm headphone jack. On the sides, it's got a rotational lock and a volume, or you could use it as a volume silent off button, and it's also got volume buttons, that is for increasing the volume and decreasing the volume. The iPad 2 is very light and it weighs, the Wi-Fi model weighs just 601 grams, while the Wi-Fi plus 3G model weighs around 610 grams. Now let's proceed with the display part. The iPad 2 has a LED backlit TFT capacitive touchscreen. It's got a resolution of 1024 by 768 with a pixel density of 132 pixels per inch. The screen resolution and the pixel density of the iPad 2 is same as iPad 1. This is one place where Apple has not improved upon with the iPad 2. The iPad 2 also has a scratch resistant oleophobic screen, which basically means that if your iPad falls or if someone uses his nails on the iPad touchscreen, then there are very less chances of scratches coming on the iPad screen. The oleophobic screen also prevents fingerprints from being formed on the screen. It does not prevent 100%, but yes, it prevents to a certain limit. So that was the display part. Now let's talk about the battery part of the iPad 2. The iPad 2 has a standard lithium ion polymer battery of 6930 milliamp hours, which provides a daily usage of around 9.5 hours to 10 hours. Now let's talk about the sound part. Apple has done some better job in the sound part for the iPad 2. Definitely the iPad 2 has a better sound quality than the iPad 1. The sound is much more louder on the iPad 2. The iPad 2, as I told you in the design, has got a 3.5 mm headphone jack. And if you have any 3.5 mm headphones or speakers, you can definitely put them and play your music. Now let's listen to some music to understand what exactly is the quality of sound on the iPad 2. So you can actually see that that is really good and the volume of the sound was really loud. So that was basically it with this sound part. Now let's talk about the data in iPad 2. The iPad 2 can be bought in Wi-Fi model or the Wi-Fi plus 3G model. If you have the Wi-Fi model like me, then you'll get speeds which you get on the Wi-Fi network. And if you have the Wi-Fi plus 3G model, then you can put a micro SIM in your iPad and you can get speeds up to HSDPA and HSUPA. The iPad 2 also supports Bluetooth 2.0. However, Bluetooth, as everybody know, is used for transferring files from one device to another, but on the iPad 2, Bluetooth has a different purpose. Bluetooth is basically used to connect to different iPod touches or iPhones and or different iPads, and it is also used to connect to different Bluetooth headphones, or it can be used to connect to different Bluetooth on your car for playing music or something like that. So that was basically with the data part. Now comes the camera part of the iPad 2. The iPad 2 has two cameras. One is the VGA camera in the front, right over here. I hope you guys can see it. It's over here. That's the VGA camera. And at the back, we have a 0.7 megapixel HD camera. Though the clarity of the photos taken from both the cameras, the front and the rear, is okay and it's not that great, and it's very disappointing from Apple because we expected something better from the camera, like around 5 megapixels at least, because the iPhone 4 supports 5 megapixel and it takes awesome pictures. So that was what we expected, or you could say I expected. Now let's have a look at the camera application. The Application is same as the iPhones, and you can take pictures, and it takes pictures very fast. It's got a very good image processor, and it's also got a photo booth application. The photo booth application is present on the Mac, and now it's been brought to the iPad. So now you can have some great effects through the photo booth application. You can see that you have the thermal camera, mirror effect, X-ray effect, and lots of effects. So you can just select any one of the effects and take your picture. So that's really amazing, and you can see how fast it takes the picture. Now comes the messaging and chatting part of the iPad 2. If you're running iOS 5, then you can definitely use iMessage on your iPad 2 to send iMessages to your friends or your family members who are using iOS devices. But if you're running a lower version of iOS 5, if you're running a lower version than iOS 5, then you can definitely download some IM clients like Skype, or you could even use MSN Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, or Gtalk on your iPad to chat with your friends. So that was basically the messaging part. Now comes the hardware part of the iPad 2. The iPad 2, according to me, was upgraded only with hardware and point of view. The hardware is really very well made for the iPad 2. The iPad 2 now has a 512 MB RAM, and it has a 1 GHz dual core Cortex A9 processor with the Apple A5 chip, and this makes the transitions between the screens on the iPad very fast, and the applications also open very instantly on the iPad 2. So this is really amazing, and playing games on the iPad 2 with this kind of configuration is again amazing, because you get much better graphics through the dual core, and the graphics have definitely been improved through the iPad 2 hardware. The iPad 2 also has an HDMI out. Right from over here, you need to buy a different wire for it. It's available in the market, and it supports HDMI out to your television. The iPad 2 has the accelerometer, gyroscope, gyro sensor, and the compass sensor. Now let's come to the browser part. The Safari browser of the iPad 2 still does not support Flash. It supports HTML, CSS, and various other programming languages for the web. So let's visit a heavily loaded images website. So let's see how it performs. So I'm opening the Tech Barrack Times, which is the Tech Barrack newspaper, you could say, for technology. This website has lots of images, and let's see how well the iPad can perform with it. You can see it's opening almost all the images, and it could not open the PNG image. I don't know why. It should have. And it's pretty fast too. And you can see the way iPad automatically arranges the website. That's very good, and it's supporting almost everything except for Flash. So that's pretty good, and zooming and zoom out is very smooth, you can see that, and the scrolling in the browser is again very smooth. So Safari is pretty good for iPad 2, that's what we can say. Now let's talk about the graphics part, which is the last part of this review. And let me just tell you that the graphics on iPad 2 are simply awesome. And that's basically because of the dual core, the better processor, the Apple A5 chip, and the 512 MB RAM that's embedded inside the iPad 2. Currently I am running Frontline Commando, which is a game made by Glue Mobiles, and it is really awesome. It's highly graphical, and that's why I'm playing this game. So let's see how well this game can perform on the iPad 2. The game just pops up very fast, so that basically is because of the faster processor. And now you can see that the graphics on the game are really amazing. You can see every detailing on the game, so that's really awesome, and that's really amazing. So that's basically, I want to tell you that the graphical performance on the iPad 2 is much better. And that's basically it with this review, guys. I hope you liked it. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and visit techbarrack.com.